Hello, everyone. It's 1:40 p.m. 6/9/2020. Yesterday, I put out a COVID tax plan. I call it the COVID tax plan because obviously, with the shutdown of the economy, our budget is probably going to have something of a shortfall at some moment where we're not going to be able to even get close to paying the budget, and therefore we're going to need to use some apparatus, some form of reverse stimulus, so that we can keep our government running, which is important. And as I put that out there, I got a lot of great feedback. A lot of people were excited about it. They preferred it over the income tax, but they thought 18%, Cameron, that's a little extreme. And a few people said, well, my brother-in-law or my cousin or they're all they have is their home. They don't really have any income right now, or they didn't before. Say a retiree or just some people. Some people are barely hanging on to their overpriced Seattle house. Basically, is what they said. And so, I want to make sure one thing's clear. My temporary COVID tax would not at all be about foreclosing on homes. It would not be about foreclosing on homes. So these things were brought to me, and so I'm like, okay, yeah, absolutely. Not that my COVID tax is a finished product. It's simply of a line of thinking with some numbers that might fit in, might not, But because it's a temporary 3 to 5 year tax, and because some people may not recover as fast or at all from the COVID shutdown, so they might never have enough money to pay an additional tax on top of the tax they already have to manage, we would certainly make available a waiver, which many people might feel they need and fill out, and maybe some. We would side on the side of not. It's not a simple fact, but there would be a waiver if you didn't have the income, but you had a very, very nice house. We're not trying to foreclose on houses. This isn't about taking people's property from them. This is about finding a way to spread the cost of government because of the shutdown caused by government. I know that's not very fair, is it? The government forced to shut down, and now this government's going to come in and force a new tax on you. Well, kind of, and that's not fair. But it's a temporary tax. I'm trying to make it as honest of a tax as I can so that we can clearly see that we're taxing people. 3 years is up. We're not taxing people. It's over. It's done. Let's move on. Versus an income tax, which that's what Inslee wants. Whether he's backed out of it now, that's his heart. That's his vision. Socialism, communism, tax the working man. Everybody put in. Everybody, my plan is a temporary. Ouch. Is a temporary. Suck it in. Is a temporary. Let's get our government functioning again before we start dismantling programs and things like that. That's really what my program's about. It's about, yes, it's going to be unfair with those that have more for a minute, for 3 to 5 years. But I'm not sure of that statistic because I don't know how far off the budget's going to be. Nobody's talking about the budget now. They're either talking about peaceful protesters with Molotov cocktails in their hand or COVID-19, but they're not talking about them together. They're separate. Anyways, nobody's talking about the budget. Nobody's talking about the reopening of the state. Maybe, and this is what I have faith in, maybe we don't need my COVID tax at all or an income tax to figure out how to get from the shutdown back to managing things. We did have a great economy before COVID-19. If we do this right, if we're patient and we open as fast as we can, safely, we could get things going. We could see an uptick. Things can get better. I believe things will get better. I believe things can and will get better, even with the crisis going on, not really around us, in the inner cities, but not everybody lives in the inner city. Not everyone lives in the inner cities or even speaks with an officer. Most people don't see an officer very often at all. So there's kind of a disconnect when the whole country suddenly goes, whoa, wait a minute. Why are you shutting down the police? I mean, some people haven't seen the police forever. So anyways, I would never defund or cut the funding for our police officers. I said that in the last one. There's another video out there. I would work to reform heavily. I would work to break the police union and the prison guard union. Those would be goals of mine. They would be goals, but I would do it appropriately. I would do it with the Congress. I would do it with the legislature. I would do it with in a manner that doesn't dismantle our police officers. In a manner that would secure our police officers' retirement and making sure they're getting paid a fair wage for what they do for us. But in the end, I don't think the police unions are healthy for our society. They're great for our police, but I don't think they're healthy for our society. What good's a union if your government is defunding your police department? I don't see him jumping up. I don't see him jumping up against these rioters. Pardon me. Yeah, I don't see a lot of these union leaders going out there and standing up for their people in front of these rioters. Probably a little shaky for them. I would, as your governor, stand up to these people. And I'd say, no, absolutely not. You've lost your freaking mind. We are not defunding the police. We are not cutting any money to the police because they're not broken. They're okay. There are parts of the police that need repairing, fixing, but as a unit, they still provide far more benefit to our society than the injustices that do go on, have been going on. When you weigh out the cost benefit, the value benefit, the societal benefit to having cops versus not, I think we're really still up here on the benefit of society from cops than we are anywhere else. That's where I am. So, this was supposed to be an addendum to my tax because maybe 18% is a little too high, maybe I'm starting too low, but there are things I would definitely there would be a waiver for people who just were not financially able to meet an additional tax because of fixed incomes and things of this nature. But there would also be, I believe, another agency created to protect your house from bankruptcy while we try to repair the government budget. That's all I wanted to say today. Be careful, everyone. Support everyone. Support your African Americans. Support your community. Support your churches. And support your police. And support your government. It's not about tearing things down. We need to support each other. I support Jay Inslee right now because he's our governor. So, if he says to do something, I'm going to do my best to do it. All right? We need to support our leaders, and then once it's our chance, vote those leaders out if we don't think they're doing a good job. I don't think Jay Inslee's doing a good job. That being said, he is my governor. I need to support him even as I compete against him. This is how it works. You should not hate your competition. You should not hate those that believe different from you. We should all come together and support each other so that we don't have to go around looking behind our back. That's not a good society. All right, I'm done. Have a good day, everyone.